Hi YouTube, this is Penny or Weird Girl Vintage. It's been a while. I apologize, but basically September was not a great month for sales. So I decided to focus more on listing and not really doing videos. Um, yeah. But October was really good, so I thought I would update you guys on what's been selling for me. So I'm mostly going to share my vintage stuff because that's more what I'm focused on at this point. I'll just be sharing from eBay, and now I have an Etsy store. And I've had 4 sales, yay! So I'll share those too. I'm not going to do Poshmark just because I haven't been focusing on it at all. I haven't even been listing new things on Poshmark. Basically for me, I've been doing it for about a year and I just got tired of having to share all my items one by one and paying 20% fees, and I didn't really feel like hiring someone or buying a bot to do it for me. So I just got tired of it. So I'm moving back just to eBay and Etsy, which I feel like is better for my niche anyways. So without further ado, it was definitely a better month than most of the summer. August was actually pretty good, but I want to say October's been my best month so far. So let's get started. So first good sale that I had this month was or last month, was a vintage Florida Marlins baseball jersey. I've had it for, I don't know, a couple months, I want to say, and someone offered me $47 plus shipping, and I was like, that sounds great. So that was the first one. I know baseball season's coming to the end, so I was kind of wanting to get rid of my baseball jerseys. Anyways, is it over? Yeah, it just ended, right? Because the World Series. Next thing that I sold was a Zara Man tuxedo blazer. They're not blazer, tailcoat. But I put the word blazer in it. Anyways, so I listed that at maybe a few months ago. It was kind of a random find that I did not really know how it was going to go. I thought either it would sell for a lot or it just would never sell. And it sold for a lot. So it sold for $55 plus shipping, which is pretty good. Next one was a really cool vintage t-shirt. I found 2 of them at the same time that were very similar, but one of them had a hole. The one that didn't have a hole is the one that sold, shocking. The brand was American Project, and it was a Chicago Bears Super Bowl XX 1985 NFC single stitch shirt. Let me just read out the whole title. And that sold for $33.99 plus shipping, which is not bad for a t-shirt. But yeah, so it was really cool vintage 80s Chicago Bears shirt. So I wasn't surprised that it ended up selling because when I found it, I was psyched. Next one was one of my absolute best sales this month, and I want to say it's a bolo, but I don't. Apparently these are really rare, and I got incredibly lucky. So, it's this. The brand is Unif, and it's basically the graphic of this, like, I don't know, satanic cat, and it says Death Meowdle, which is really cute. Kind of, I guess. Depends what you're into. But it's tank top, but it was super distressed. I mean, there were like holes in it. And I am not shocked that nobody else picked it up because it was like a tank top with holes in it. But I don't know, I had a feeling, and I looked it up, and it turns out this particular one is very rare. So I listed it for $85, and hoped for the best, and the best happened, and somebody bought it. We had a little bit of a dilemma with shipping, but it all worked out, and the buyer was super, super sweet, and everything was wonderful. I was very happy, and she was very happy, so win-win. So the next one was another distressed tank top, so I'm guessing those are in style right now. It was a Free People one, and it was for Winona Motorcycles on the front. But yeah, it was really cool. I had like this embellishment kind of around the collar. I'm picking up my laptop because it gets really hot and I have it on the sofa. And that was $39.99 plus shipping. The next one that I sold was one that I've had for a while, and it had a bunch of followers or watchers, and I've gotten a lot of offers on it, but I figured with how much interest there was in it, I didn't really want to drop the price too much. So I want to say I had it listed for $65. And somebody offered me $45, which was the best offer I'd gotten for it so far. And I kind of like checked, you know, what were there any comps that were recent, because when I listed this it was like a while ago, and this exact same one that was new with tags had sold for 65, so I was like, you know, 45 plus shipping, I'll take it for a used one. Even though, you know, it was still in great condition, but it didn't have tags on it, so I understand. But yeah, so that was still a really good one. And that was, so the brand was Ebbets Field Flannels, but it was like their collaboration with J. Crew, and then it just said Brooklyn across it. So it was a really cool sweater, but generally those collaborations with like well-known brands are really good. The next one that sold was vintage Delta Airlines hoodie, which was pretty cool. It had a little bit of damage, so I listed it for $34.99, and that's what it sold for. But yeah, it was cool. It was like a vintage Delta Airlines jacket. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. The next one was, the brand was Aaron Sweater Market, and it was made in Ireland. It was a merino wool cardigan, and that sold for $49.99 plus shipping. And generally what I found is if something is made in Ireland or Scotland or England or something like that, generally it's going to be pretty good, because people like those like Irish knit sweaters. I'm part Irish, so I get it. Next one was, honestly, I've had this one for a long time, and well, my eyes got really big there. And it was like new without tags, and I normally wouldn't say that if I wasn't positive, but it literally had like the little paper like on the zippers and stuff, you know, like the paper that like protects the zipper, I guess. So anyways, it was brand new. It just didn't have a tag on it. But it was an AmeriCorps Florida City-Year jacket. It was a really nice jacket with a patch for AmeriCorps, but I figured like there's going to be a very small group of people that are interested in this jacket. So I was really surprised when it sold for full price. So it was $44.95 plus shipping. Awesome. And whoever bought it, thank you for doing AmeriCorps. That's dope. Next one was, so this was one that I listed for Connor, and it's an American Eagle Outfitters brown cafe racer leather jacket, and it was pretty distressed, and I believe I had it listed for like $99.99 plus shipping, and I'd gotten a lot of like half price offers, like $50. I think the highest I got was like 65, and I kept countering at 80 because 80 was the lowest I was gonna go. And so it was the same people doing 65, and I was like 80, 80, 80. And then I think someone on their first offer was 65, and I countered 80, and I was like, they're not gonna do it. And they did, so that was exciting. So it sold for 80 plus shipping. But yeah, I think it's honestly because of that cafe racer style, is kind of in demand, I guess. Where it's kind of like the collar comes around in the front like that, and then I don't know. Next one was a vintage piece. It was actually the first fur piece I've sold. And the brand was LaBelle Furs, and I think it's just like a local fur place in Ohio, something like that. But yeah, so it was just a vest with an adjustable waist, and it had a little staining on the inside. And I believe I just had it on sale, and it sold for full price on sale, so $63.74 plus shipping. So yay. So this next one was so surprising. So months ago, I was at the outlet and I started seeing these like vintage marching band bibs, like, you know, the vest thing, and it has like a flap in the back. And I was like, these are so cool. And I kept like pulling them because I thought there were maybe like 2 or 3. And I ended up with 9. I think there were even more than that, but they were too damaged, so I put them back. But I kept all the ones that were in good enough condition. And so I had 9 of these bibs, and everybody was just kind of like, what's your plan with those? And I think I actually was talking to someone who was like, yeah, I saw you grabbing those. Like, what are you going to do with them? And I was like, I don't know. They're just so cool. I don't want them to, like, you know, die. Like, let's bring them back, because they look so old. I mean, they look like they were used in the 50s or 60s. Anyways, I listed them all together, The brand was Soul Frank, and I put open offers because I was kind of like, I just wanted them to go to like, you know, a high school for their like production of Music Man or something like that, because I'm a theater kid. I love like costumes. Anyway, so they actually sold for full price at $149.99 plus shipping, and shipping ended up being more than I charged, but it was awesome. I think the box weighed like 13 pounds, so I think it cost like something like 20, maybe 25. But yeah, I was so excited about that. Cause you know, I was just happy that they found a new home, you know, new life. And the last one was the last one that I sold on, or the last highlight that I sold on eBay this month, and it was a really big one, and well, for me. Another one I found a few months ago, I want to say, and I was really excited when I found it. I didn't even know what it was when I found it. I thought it was maybe just like a cool old vintage t-shirt with like a phrase on it. But then I looked at it and it was for Green Day, and I was like, what? And I realized it was from the 90s, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be good. So vintage 1995 Green Day shirt. I think I had it listed at $120, and I had gotten maybe one offer on it, and it wasn't nearly what I was looking for, and I kept double checking to make sure like that the prices in general hadn't gone down on it, because when I checked, I had it at a pretty good price. I think on Etsy they were even more. But yeah, so I left it where it was for a while, and then I pretty consistently send out like offers to watchers, and someone had watched this, and I normally send out a 15% off discount for offers to watchers, but I was like, I'll do 20%. I feel like, you know, that's still a reasonable amount for both of us. So I sent out 20% off, and they took it, and so I sold it for $95.96 with free shipping. So that was very exciting for me. So now I'm going to do the Etsy sales real quick. So exciting for me because I just started listing on Etsy this month, and I did 4 sales, which isn't crazy, but considering they were all pretty great sales, I'm perfectly happy with it. For my Etsy store, I do have free shipping above $35, and the majority of things that I list on Etsy are above $35, so it's pretty much free shipping. So the first one that I sold was one I've had for a little bit, and it has had quite a bit of interest, and it was this vintage 70s Super Gear puffer jacket, and it's like got a color block rainbow in the front. It's really cool. I actually, I think Connor found it, and he gave it to me to wear because I really liked it. And then I realized that the sleeves were too short. So I went to go sell it, and it was a kids XL, but I had it as a kids XL woman small because it would fit a woman who had shorter arms than me, because I have very long arms. So it sold for $69.99, which is pretty awesome. And then the next one that I sold was this Lawrence Kazar beaded dress, and it was teal. Funny enough, also one that I wanted for myself. I've had it for a while, like pretty much since I think we started sourcing, I've had this dress because I wanted to wear it. And then one day I tried it on, and I was like, this doesn't look right on me. So I listed it, sadly, but it sold for $58.99, and I believe that was the one that sold to one of the costume departments for a Showtime show that takes place in the 80s. So that was really cool for me because I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's gonna be a costume on a show. You know, I went to school for acting, so I'm like, cool. Tongues are weird. So next one was another 80s vintage piece. It was this hand-knit Easter sweater, which was so random. I think I might have talked about it in a haul, but I thought it was really, really cool, and I honestly, I didn't expect it to sell before Easter, but it actually sold like a week or two after I listed it for $49.99, so that was awesome. And then the last one was a vintage Dave and Johnny's like prom dress, and so it had this big poof on the shoulder, and it was all like sequined and super pretty, and that sold for $49.99, so that was super exciting too. So yeah, great sales on Etsy and eBay. October was really good for me. I hope it was good for you guys. Feel free to leave in the comments, you know, what kind of sales you had this month. How has it been? Any thoughts? Yeah, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. And, you know, have wonderful lives.